Hey guys, Marisa at kitchentablestamper.com. Today I've got a Merry Christmas treat box for you. It's 1.5 by 3 by 3, and I put this little Goo Goo cluster in there. I love the packaging. It looks kind of old-fashioned. I think it's a perfect complement to our Ringed with Nature bundle. We're featuring the Ringed with Nature bundle today. And the product is carrying over. So if you've seen the Stampin' Up last chance list, you might have noticed that the Ringed with Nature bundle is on last chance. You will be able to get the Ringed with Nature stamp set for full price, the Ringed with Nature hybrid embossing folder and dies for full price going forward, but the 10% when you buy them together discount is going away. So if you've had your eye on this product, you might want to consider picking it up before the holiday catalog retires and save 10%. We're going to start with building our box. I've got soft suede cardstock. It's 6 by 6, and then cottage, the Gingham Cottage Designer Series paper. This is 4 9/16 square. We are going to score all around and trim according to the templates for our lidded box. The Gingham Cottage Designer Series paper is an excellent all occasion, all season chameleon designer series paper. It's a 48 sheet pack. It's on sale right now from $30 down to $18. So if you haven't seen that on the last chance list, save 10% by bundling Ringed with Nature and grab some of this Gingham Cottage while it's on sale. We're going to score the 6 by 6 all the way around at 1.5. Then now let's do our 4 9/16 all the way around at 3/4 of an inch. Now we've got a perfect little square box and lid. Gonna work those score lines with a bone folder and trim them up according to the template. Now I'll have the template photo in the project sheet for you. I always like to drop that in for reference. It makes it easier to see where to score, where to cut, and imagine how to assemble. So check out kitchentablestamper.com for the printable project sheet. The link to the project is below in the video description. All right, I like to do designer series paper both ways, especially in the winter time. If the paper is dry, the pattern can crack. So there's our lid. Let's do the box. All right, now we're going to cut straight on the long rectangle, on an angle on the square glue tab, remove the score line, and then angle the other side of the tab. Let's do that on all 4 of these score lines on both boxes. When you go to the other side, you want to go directly across. So you turn 180 degrees, not just 90, that's right, you'll have some wonky tabs, and cut directly across. And there's our bottom. Now let's do the same thing with our box lid. We're gonna cut straight along the long rectangle, angle on the corner, the square, and then angle up to form the glue tab. All the way across to the other side of the box, 180 degree rotation, and cut out the score lines and bevel the glue tab. All right, there we go. Let's get some tear and tape and let's assemble this box. Now, if you wanted to do some embossing on the sides, or if you wanted to stamp on the sides, now would be the time to go ahead and do that. I am going to leave it simple. I love the way it looks with the designer series paper and then that contrasting cardstock. When I assemble a box like this, I add tear and tape adhesive in kind of an equal sign on the tabs. Gives you kind of a double adhesion, keeps your box a little stronger and tidier. I'll place my tear and tape the same way on the lid. I like to grab my take your pick tool here, and these are going to get assembled the same way. We'll remove the tear and tape from the glue tab. I've got a little excess there, so I'm just going to fold it over on the tab and remove the others. All right, our glue tabs for our lid are sticky. So you're gonna bring up and make a nice 90-degree corner. And there's our lid from the Gingham Cottage Designer Series paper. I love this pretty green gingham. Let's do the same assembly for the soft suede base. Remove all the adhesive. Liners are gone. Let's fold up all the way around, making the base for our box. Now for the exciting part, let's decorate. We'll fill with a Goo Goo cluster and lid. Now, this was our coffee and a mystery card, mystery, not a card, for Thursday, just yesterday from the recording of this video. So, December 1st. And I went through in that video, the live video, and the Kitchen Table Stamper Craft Social, that's our Facebook group, links below, all kinds of things that fit in this box. We talked about hand sanitizers and stretchy gloves and different kinds of candies and treats. So check out that video if you're curious what else fits. We always love to know around Kitchen Table Stamper what else fits. Let's get our hybrid embossing folder and our number 4 adapter and Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine. We've got the number 1 platform here, and we're gonna make our tree ring for the top of the box. To do that, I've got some soft suede cardstock. I'm gonna cover that largest tree ring, and I wanna cut it out. So we're going to add the die into the folder, and there's really only one way it'll go. It'll kind of lock into place. Cover that with the cardstock. Now, if you're nervous to run your your die or your folders through sideways, then trim your scrap, and then you can put fold first, which is the safest way to run a folder. You can't break the folds off the folder if you put the fold in first. So we just trim our scrap. You don't have to, with the hybrid embossing folder with the tree rings, you don't have to cut all the tree rings either. You can just cut the one that you need using a scrap. We're doing the largest. Now we're gonna do the crumb cake, the inside portion. So we'll do the same process. We're gonna pop the die in, and there's really only one way it goes. You'll hear it kind of fall into place. It's gonna go on the side with the Stampin' Up, by the way. Do you see that little logo there? Going to add the center die now, because we want to cut out the insides, and you're going to line up those little defining features. So these loops, that die will fall into place. Can add our crumb cake cardstock scrap. Close the folder and cut off the excess. Pop that in, fold first, and number 4 on top. So here's the hybrid folder, just for getting the one tree ring that you want for your project. You can emboss whole card fronts. You can do all 5 tree rings at one time for mass production. It's really got some flexibility. You can cut the bark and then the inner wood slice. Let's adhere those together with liquid glue. How cool is that? Just love this product, and very excited about hybrid embossing folders and dies. This is the first one I've purchased from Stampin' Up. They've had several, and I have to say I am a fan. All right, there's our sample, our box. I'm gonna pop on the wood slice with some dimensionals. And you know I like to layer on the dimensionals. So we're gonna start with some dimensionals here. But don't worry, our poinsettia is gonna get some too. I like double dimensionals, so we'll leave those here. All right, pop that on. Pretty cool, huh? Let's work on our embellishments next. I've got some faux suede ribbon here. This Early Espresso faux suede ribbon. It's a cool ribbon. I haven't done a lot with it up till now. Let's see here. I think it's about 7 1/4 inches. We're gonna loop it and then tie with some linen thread. So we're getting lots of great natural texture here between the suede and the linen thread. Those tree ring embossed wood slices, and then the watercolor finish of our botanicals. This box has a lot of awesome texture going on. All right, so I'm going to wrap my ribbon with the linen thread and tie, then cinch it so that it's about 1/2 inch from the loop. Then we're going to tie, loop, swoop, tuck, pull. There's our bow. Can hold the center of the knot and adjust the loops and tails. But for a gift box like this, we can have an extra loopy, swoopy bow. We'll trim that away from the spool and add it to the box top with some tear and tape. Just going to put a strip of tear and tape kind of right across the bottom of my wood slice here. Oh, I'm going to go this way, a little more narrow side, and that'll hold all that awesome texture. It's already looking good. Let's do some stamping and some die cutting next. I've got some basic white cardstock and my Stampin' Pierce mat because Ringed with Nature is a photopolymer stamp set. Look at the awesome eclectic group of images. I love the house and the mushrooms with the stems, but this way they're acorns with the top. And then the berry sprig, you can do your leaves in green and your berries in another color. Blackberry Bliss or Poppy Parade, little poinsettia, another version of the tree rings. I love the sentiment font. It's clean and classic. We're gonna do the poinsettia with Poppy Parade right on our white. And Merry Christmas with soft suede. And I'm going to fussy cut my poinsettia and my greeting. This kind of fussy cut greeting style is really popular right now. I'm going to do a little bubble cut around it. And the first thing I'm going to do is separate my words. Then I'm going to kind of bubble cut. You want a white border around your greeting, and you just turn the greeting into the scissors. Your dominant hand opens, your non-dominant hand drives, and we're going to do that for both our Merry and Christmas, and then also for the poinsettia. All right, there's our fussy cut bits. Let's set them aside and grab our Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine. We're going to use some of the sprigs and berries from the tree rings dies. Now we have to set up for die cutting. So we've got our Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine, thin die adapter and cutting plate, our fun little botanical sprigs. Let's give that a cut. Now you're going to need 2 of the berries if you're going to do yours just like mine. So it'll require 2 passes. But you know, by the magic of television, I have a second set of the berries already done. I'm going to bring in some mini grid paper and our bits, branches, and our berries. If you find that your cutouts are sticking in the dies, my favorite way to solve that problem is to grab a little low tape, some painter's tape, some washi tape, whatever you got, low tack, and just adhere it to the back of the die and really get it in on the cardstock, and then just pull the die away and the little die cut will be stuck on your tape. And I'll just keep using this piece until I find that this piece doesn't hold the cardstock strong enough to get it out of the die. So sometimes you can get 2, 3, 4, 5 unstuck before you have to take off the tape and start again. So just keep using the end of that die. Just keep using the end of that tape until it gives up. All right, for these sprigs, we're gonna color them with Stampin' Blend markers. And it is going to give us a beautiful watercolor effect. So let's get some clean space to work here. It's easier to see the edges if you keep your scratch paper rotated. We'll start with the berries. I've already done one sample here, and we're going to use Parakeet Party, Soft Suede, and Poppy Parade for our botanicals. I'm going to start with my Parakeet Party, and we're going to swipe the light Parakeet Party over the leaves using the brush point here because we got a nice big wide open space, but you'll see that was dark Parakeet Party, and I'll just touch together with the light. You'll see when I switch now to do the little stems, I'm going to switch to Soft Suede, but I'm going to use the bullet point because we got a little area to get in here. So I've got the light Soft Suede, and we're going to color the stems. There's a little berry on that stem there. Don't color it brown. Mom always told me don't eat the brown berries. All right. Now we're gonna add a little shadow down the outside edge with some dark Soft Suede. And swipe over again, just like we did with the Parakeet Party, and kind of soft and blend the light and the dark together. Now, for the berries, we're going to do the same. Got my bullet tip. I'm holding that sprig down over where we just colored and doing a light Poppy Parade wash. Then in this area, because it's such a small, tiny little spot, I'm not going to do a blend. Don't forget the berry that we didn't color brown. I'm just going to swipe across the bottom, kind of a half moon, C kind of shape, and put a little shadow on my berries. Now, we're done with Poppy Parade. Let's go back to Parakeet Party, and we're going to do both of these branches at the same time. Got the light Parakeet Party, and I'm just going to do the leaves on both branches. And it's a small enough space that, and you're working quick enough that you can do your light and then go back to where you started, your dark, and then back to light again. Just a little touch where the two come together. You don't want to blend it all to medium. That was one of the hardest things for me to learn with alcohol markers. So now we've got green leaves. And for these, I'm going to switch to my brush point for the light one and keep doing the bullet point for the dark one. We got a little bit more room here on these branches, so we'll just wash the whole thing with the light Soft Suede. Go down one side, maybe across the bottom a little bit with the dark. Got a little Soft Suede on my branch, or on my leaf there where I don't want it. So I'm gonna go back with my light Parakeet Party on the brush, or on the bullet point, and I'm just going to kind of right over the Soft Suede until it blends away. All right, there is our branches and berries. Let's get this box decorated. We kept our Stampin' Dimensionals handy, and we've got some liquid glue. I'm going to put a Stampin' Dimensional right on the center of my poinsettia, and then I'm going to do little bits from the edges underneath my greeting. So just cut along the edge there, and you can add little strips to support those words. And you're going to use bits of another strip on the back of some of your branches, so you can take all the way to the end here. Now we've got a little stick of adhesive. Hold that aside for a minute. Let's arrange our flower. That's pretty good. Now we're gonna take our skinny little branch, little liquid glue at the base of it. Same with the wider branch, you can just share the glue. You're gonna tuck that in and glue it down at the base with the liquid. A little bit, same for the berries, liquid glue on the stem, you can share the glue. Now we've got our arrangement. Let's go back to that little stick and we're going to cut a couple of little squares. Putting them in a little pile so I don't lose them. And now we're going to use these little squares to just further secure our little branches. So I'll take the leaf, lift the leaf, add the bit, and then adhere to the box. And I'll just go around there and adhere little bits to the back of leaves, and we get kind of a two-level adhesion. Then it's on securely at the very base with liquid glue, so flat, and then at the end we make the branch even more secure with some of these little bits. All right, there's our poinsettia. Let's add our greeting. Put Christmas on there first and then judge where to place Mary. I like to build it from the bottom up. And just because enough isn't quite enough, let's add some embellishments. I've got two kinds here. I have the iridescent rhinestone jewels, and I have some brushed brass butterflies. Let me grab my take your pick tool. And we're going to add two different kinds of shine to this project. Got little butterflies flying up and away. And now let's add some sparkle. I'm going to put a big gem in the center of our flower and a small one too. And then I'm going to put a big gem at the top here, just tucked underneath the little wood ring. And then I'm going to put two little ones down at the bottom here. Lots of sparkle, lots of shine, and that is our lidded Ringed with Nature treat box. All right, you guys, if you've got any questions about the project, email marisa@kitchentablestamper.com. To join the Kitchen Table Stamper Craft Social, where we have fun and games like coffee and a mystery, not a card, follow the link below to our Facebook group. And to shop Stampin' Up! 24/7, cash in on the great discounts on this Gingham Cottage Designer Series paper and the bundle discount on Ringed with Nature before it's gone, buzz over to marisaalvarez.stampinup.net. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next video.